I started blogging in June of 2004, and the best part of it, frankly, is the wonderful comments that come from India at 1 a.m. or come from anywhere. And one morning when I logged on, I had gotten a lovely comment from a guy by the name of Dave Wheeler. And it went like this: what are the four most important words in an organization? And the four words were, what do you think? And I thought about it and I thought, my God, you know, this is just bloody amazing. I mean, it's absurd. I mean, what do you think mean? What do you think when you say it to me means you are a person of value who has an opinion that I want to hear? And so I've started taking it to its ultimate extreme and saying, okay, I want you to keep a little scorecard. Keep it in your pocket, wherever else. How many times, and I do, everybody's watching this, how many times in the course of a day do you say, not 5 words, not 3 words, not 10 words, what do you think? We hear this about empowerment and that about empowerment and this program and that program and this training course and that training course. I would argue in the world of engaging people, nothing is better than the 4 words. What do you think? Try it, count it, measure yourself, see what happens. My friend Dan Coyle wrote a book called The Talent Code, and somewhere near the beginning there was a fascinating little exercise. I'm going to tell you about the exercise, and then I will try to explain why I'm telling you about this exercise. You get a list of words, and after a certain number of you look at the list for 60 seconds, 90 seconds, whatever, and then 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, we ask you to recall the word, as many of those words as you can. Okay, so you get your list, you look at your list of words, it's got 20 words on it. 2 minutes later I say, tell me as many of the words as you can, and you remember 3, which is probably pretty damn normal. Okay, now I'm going to vary the list a little bit, okay? And I'm going to have a list, or some other guys are going to read from a list, and it's going to be exactly the same words, except every word is going to have one letter missing. Like you'll see kitchen, but the T will be missing, and there will just be a blank underscore where it is. Okay, you look at that list, letter missing in each word. 5 minutes later, whatever the metric is, I ask you, tell me how many words you can remember. It's bizarre. Test after test after test, the statistics are sound. You remember 3 times more of the words that had missing letters than the ones that didn't. Now, why am I telling you this story? For the simple reason, it is a fundamental description of what happens when people's brains are engaged. Somehow or other, your brain has got to put the T back into the kitchen. But fundamentally, the notion here is people who are engaged in general are in fact more engaged, if you will. The brain is working, you're paying attention, and it's a big, 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 big story, even though it's purportedly just about a couple of lists of words. Huge deal. Think about it. Bottom line, your internal customers are more important than your external customers. I was giving a speech to General Electric, GE people who were in one of the big energy sectors. GE is a nut. I wish maybe the people in the banks had been. GE is a nut about risk analysis. And I was talking to one of their top salespersons. These are the people who make multi-billion-dollar sales, certainly sales of $100 million or always in the millions. And this was the guy who put me onto this. He said, my most important customers are my internal customers. Now, what does that mean? In his case, there is a risk analysis department in GE at the corporate center. And the average man or woman in that department has got 27 folders, electronic folders, with projects that need to be evaluated. What does my friend want? My friend wants that person in risk analysis to pick his folder out of the pile first and work on his project. He can deliver his project a day, a week, a month, a year, 2 years earlier if he can get it sorted out inside the company. And incidentally, the same thing is true for a 19-year-old waitress or waiter in a restaurant. The most important customer for the waiter or waitress is not the person buying a meal, it is the chef. Will your plate come off first? Will your plate be cooked absolutely perfectly? If the chef loves you, the chef will pay more attention to you. I'm not suggesting we forget the people who pay the bills, but I am suggesting, I am saying, and I am insisting development of your internal customers is more important than your external customers.